Well, I can't care off the hop. Just some stuff coming off the model. But I do want to be honest. I don't usually get the Sarge Mages out there to give you any reference on the calculus. So just for that reason, I'd like to get that out here. First Sergeant Stoker talking about board meetings. This is a regular person, and I want as much as that to be out there as much as any kind of
your base, right? The instinct is you'd think, oh, hey, we got to find safe cover. Instead, you did. What was your instinct in that moment?
My instinct was to get involved in some way. So I either knew that there would be injured people down there that would need help, or that there would be a gunfight to get involved in.
People hear this and there is
like a boot camp.
I'm going to go the other direction.
Limited number of drill sergeants, so many of you, and none of you really know what you should do or want to do. But some things seem reasonable.
That's my job.
Some things don't. Some people, some things are reasonable, some things aren't. Some people know where some of that is roughly W boson, and some people have no clue and are waiting because the right answer
so you guys drive that
is
direction, right? You and several other special forces
civilian
soldiers.
limit.
And how's it play out?
So we
hold post, salute,
exited
say
our
yes sir,
compound,
no sir, freedom on what
volume of
that
the attack
calculus
turned up.
kind of gives you some reference to do
our
about
truck
the toggle
actually
switch.
came under fire from the
Usually puts
forces located
certain
opposite
numbers
of the
with
breach.
tones and systems
As we were
with
driving, we could see indirect fire
colors
landing
and systems that
different areas of
generally
the
go
camp.
with that.
And
You could tell them, well, what's
see the
this thing?
chaos
Well,
unfolding.
it's an area.
and
This
each time we're kind of checking to
black and
make
white
sure the
checkered
people that are,
pattern on here really
subject to
means
those attacks are
given the system or
handling it, we can
timeline
see
or
that,
whatever pattern they use,
they're
would be
moving in their
the
positions,
reason
and,
for the
so we
arc
continue
on
down to that breach
the
point.
line and calculus for one of these
And
things.
we
The
found
differential on that star.
kind of found that assault force.
It's a fight.
that had, maneuvered
Gravity.
the breach.
So you
Good
threw
for
your
it.
body in front of the driver who was in the vehicle.
Yeah, I could see him shooting through the windows.
Character builder, huh?
I had my door open.
Well, I usually
and,
pick the ones that do. Nothing, no hope, smoker, don't give a shit, fucks up your numbers, does this,
couldn't
does
think of
that.
anything else really to do.
When you close your eyes
Again.
and think about it, what were those moments like?
I remember it, some of it, fairly clearly.
Yeah, well.
Especially exiting the vehicle, I
Little
could still see the look on that nearest guy's face, and then it kind of went from supreme confidence, and then as I kind of closed the distance, I remember his face kind of turning, and probably as my pistol round kind of hit him, I assume it was painful.
So for clarity, you were outmanned and really outgunned. You had only a pistol in your hand.
Yep. But I just used the pistol to create enough space so I could figure something else out. Which I guess they all knew they were
Ones
wearing
and
suicide
zeros,
vests.
right.
So as soon as I
Like I said, it seems innocuous
engaging
on its own. We're
effectively,
just talking about a
they all
math
kinda
problem and a
got away from me.
photon, an electron,
I think
if you will,
that
moving
fear of,
through what circuitry
detonating
designed to
their vest
be
prematurely.
the gold
Was
star
this the worst
photon as
gunfight you'd
we
ever experienced?
this
try
was
to
the
figure
worst.
out
Usually,
the points by
a
recall
fight just
of what
never
happened
devolves
there.
into,
I mean, it should be its
something that
own
close
war
and
zone
chaotic.
on an after action
I
report
think it's a natural
or
tendency
marshmallow
for people
incident
to kind of
report,
avoid
training
those
model.
situations, and I think we just had
And I mean, you think about what the
unique
standards are to why we do
circumstances
certain
on both
training
sides.
indexes and
This
tests
was
and
the
seeing
worst
the
gunfight you'd
actual
ever
trajectory
experienced.
do what it was supposed
And
to
it's
do
right
inside
where
of
you
there
sleep.
for
This was your home base.
what those lines are.
Yep.
And hopefully,
It was
you
kind of
know,
surreal.
again, I'm not there. It's
I've been in,
certainly
quite a few gunfights. It's always somewhere
unfortunate
else.
that comes with the
To have
territory.
one on an American
but
FOB
it
was
does.
a new experience.
There were bullets whizzing by your head. How did you not get shot?
I do not know.
It's highway.
Especially
Highway.
after looking at where I was sitting and where the bullets would have had to go. There's not hardly any room for that to occur, so it doesn't. It's not. We're not sure. And
Heisenberg.
it was.
We use
there
Heisenberg's
was
uncertainty
just
problem.
So much activity, things burning and tanks driving all which ways.
Well,
it was
we're not sure, but if you
chaotic
go to the
situation.
team where all the files
Why'd the
are about
bullets
what
miss you?
happened there,
I don't
that's
know.
Heisenberg's where you find him.
I assume that
If
as
you program plug incorporated off
kinda
these
closed,
numbers, that's where it'll
with
put you.
those fighters,
There it is.
Instead of
It's
using
right
their
there.
sights, I think they must have just looked at me, and then that would cause you to miss slightly around me.
The gist is, you'll never know why the bullets missed you, but you just kept moving.
I also kept moving, yes.
See, that's the hard
So I was
bit about
fairly
that.
excited, so it was kind of hard to sit still.
In some ways, I'm guessing that may have been what saved your life.
I think so, yeah. I think their ability to hit a moving target was pretty low, and then my ability to
Very
hit a target while
interesting.
moving was pretty high.
Walk me through some of these moments. At one point, you hit one of these insurgents,
You look at
hit their
the
vest,
Higgs
which
after it
detonated.
all, I
Walk me through
suppose.
those moments as you witnessed it.
So I ran out of
Every
ammo.
one of them.
And
we were
I
wrong about some
remember,
calculus, or we were right about the calculus.
He
And
threw his rifle away and just started
this is the
sprinting
result.
toward me. And I remember his eyes being just incredibly wide open. And he was screaming. And I got my magazine in and sent that bolt forward. And it felt like he was just hanging on the end of the rifle.
So the two things that we do the most
they don't
outdoors would
come up
be
often.
hiking
5 to
and
saw
going to the
programs
beach.
at night.
And we always bring our sonos
I
with
can
us.
drain
Totally
your
sets the mood.
stuff in your
And it's
photon
always
right
nice
into
to
the
have that
ground.
one song
Out
or
against
that
you at
one
any.
playlist that just
By
nails
just
it.
running rotations 20, 30 times a night
Before
by
you keep
programming the
scrolling,
same
I want
saw
to hear
just
from
the
you.
first day
I'm
of training to
personally
make sure
asking
you
you
get
to
it
take
by the
1
second day
minute,
instead
only
of the
1
first
minute, and
month.
fill out my official.
And I knew what was coming. I remember kind of bracing for what was
Save the
probably
day,
about to
Superman.
happen. And,
Pumps
when
give
I
out
pulled that
inside of
trigger,
there. You knee deep in the
and just
mud.
got,
Floor's
shook.
flooded. She's
I remember
kicking
feeling
out
the pain,
silica dust because she's
from
not
the
pumping
blast, like
water.
in
You
my
got to hit the
bones.
fuse box.
So
Then you
hit
got to hit
the
the pump.
guy. You hit
And
the
I, being
insurgent,
part of this and the
it
team
detonated
model
his
of being
vest,
in charge of some
and
of
it
those
sent you
things,
flying.
and it's just my
Yes.
floor and me out there. Yes, there are
I
other
guess he was probably
Sawyers.
about as
where
far as
stuff is
as
broke
you are
and I had to
now.
go get the welder,
And,
because I have other things I have to do unless you want me to learn welding today.
I
and
don't know why I wasn't more injured. From
don't
that.
know why, but here
I'll
we
feel
are,
like
X. All things
Lives are
convergent.
long, we hope.
It's
As you kind
convergent
of
enough, it
reflect on
turns
that
into a
day,
flaming
how has it changed yours?
Medal of Honor star.
I take training. I always took it very seriously. Now I
There
have
was one of them. What was in the blood?
a negative
Blood.
experience that turned out positive.
Negative experience
I
turned
think
out
due to
positive.
training, so I always try to make my guys train just as hard as possible, and if they're not, I'll tell them a story.
Calculus.
Do you feel a unique responsibility as the
Here's
only
what we know how to
recipient?
readjust your
who's
manic,
still living?
bipolar,
I think I do.
schizo, hypervigilant.
I would say
Get your
I'm going
spin
to have
on
to
it, right?
wear that medal and carry those men's honor.
We're not sure you're a
forward to
tall
my
white
life.
horde. We're not even sure you're a particle yet. You could be a wave coming in.
A pretty heavy responsibility.
I know your service was in different places
No,
and at different
that's
times.
Gresham's
You
law
didn't
of
know
the
these guys,
bells
I
of
trust.
quality and
But in
shave
some
and drink
ways,
coffee
do you-
for the
do you
BFG
feel- will you-
gun model. I mean,
As
when
you
move
stand
like that,
there
it's a packet, it
alongside
hits
the
the
president
pipes
with
like
the medal around your neck,
buckshot.
will you
usually
be a
gets the job done.
representative of those other men as well?
I think our stories at this point are going to be bound together forever. And I hope I could
I
represent
wish I
them
could
well.
just give him my book.
It's
Just
the
slide
thing
it on
that-
the table
that,
to him. It's like, just open it up.
that
and
people
start
don't
pointing
get.
at
They
stuff
focus on
when
that
you're
one,
in there first shot.
portion. And the
This is
whole
the general
FOB was
STEM
kinda
resume.
fighting for its
It's
life,
about
a lot
kind of
guys
the
got
box,
lesser
how it
rewards,
changes its
and I think
X
they're
and
more
Ys and
profound.
Ys and
If your-
AX,
if your
BX,
job is
AXBY,
personnel
and
clerk and you're
why
manning
that's
the
a
wall,
derivative I and
beating back
biframes,
a-
photons, and
enemy
gravity,
force,
and
that's probably not a
electromagnetism
natural
in the
thing.
pipes.
And the Army probably didn't
Forward up
prepare you
the
as well as they
open
did me.
breech position,
So I
loading
think
it in.
those stories, and
There
we,
you
and we
go,
have
becoming the
100 of
50
them
cal.
from that day are neat. To see the spirit of a U.S. soldier, even though not his job and he wasn't prepared for it, to go ahead and meet that challenge.
Usually in
Service
calculus
in the
again,
armed
you put them
forces
in the
is always
corner
about
and
the
on
team,
things.
the battalion, the squadron.
What you find by
You-
is,
Does it make you comfortable? Do you embrace this honor, or does it make you
was
uncomfortable?
it his box
I'd say a
normally
little
where
bit
it
of
lived
both.
in there and knew the training like that, and that's where
be
it was just
singled
camp
out
and
about
sure,
the
yeah,
people you
know what I mean?
respect
That's what you
deeply.
get.
Um,
Dropping
be honored
in
by them
cargo
is,
containers all mixed up and backwards
it's a lot.
on
It's a
Russia
profound
for the
emotional
games.
experience
You
to-
know,
to
while
have
you're
people
figuring
that I
out
think
what
of in high
M1 or
regard to turn around
limitations.
and
You got a
point
slingshot.
something
You got to
special.
put out a light bulb. You know what I mean?
What more can you want than that? Yeah,
Makes it different though. I mean, it does.
Yeah,
I mean,
be
the
a part of that
calculus
team and
stands
be their
across the board.
representative.
Now, again, we've had some problems.
kind
I
of
just
put on
want to state it as a
pedestals.
general model. Obviously, using some kind of combative shot.
affects me
It's
deeply.
Not
going
everybody
to
made it
affect
that day.
things
Do you
considerably,
think about the
given the
others?
optics of that
Yeah, I do, obviously.
photon acid trip burnt into certain
never got to
things that
meet,
you can't help but kind of cringe a little bit for, or
Stefan
smile,
Michael,
or
I only
just a
saw him
little
as he
bit of
ran up to
something,
take
you
part
know,
in the
that
battle, and
that comes into it by
from
a
what I understand,
diagram.
he was
You
an
know, and
exemplary
say,
soldier,
well, I don't
and,
know if it was Oppenheimer
and no one was
himself, but
surprised that he showed up. And
probably
I
pulled out
wish
his
I could've,
multi-form hand that day.
got to know him, but
Laid down
I
Valentine
did not,
Rabbit. Said,
unfortunately.
you got me coming.
But yeah, you can't tell my story without telling his.
What's going through your head in those moments where you're staring down these suicide vest wearing insurgents within feet of you.
I think
Probably not the
it
whiteboard
was,
practice
the
simulator
right
models.
guy at the right place.
Maybe a clip.
I don't think there was anybody on that
Ones and
camp that was
zeros.
more prepared to face that fight than
Well,
than we
it still
were.
happens like
And,
every day. It's just
I-
pressure
once
differential,
I got out of the
Linden
truck and
frost
kind of got on
effect,
even ground, I just
enriched
I
orders of
felt a supreme
photons,
sense
and
of,
steel being
confidence
white
that
hot
we
at
were
that
gonna,
point.
Handle that particular
Makes
engagement.
the plasticity and
fear, but
deformation
confidence.
different as well. It
Yes.
changes
How?
dark
I
matter
think
across
the caliber of people I showed up with,
the plasticity of
even
a
if
steel
they got
beam,
me, they
and the
were
engineering
never, they
says,
were never
well,
gonna,
what if it's just a 2-inch
get past that
I-beam
corner.
slice? I mean, you got to try to bend that thing this way.